So welcome back. So we made the solution and we made it work the way we wanted, but it wasn't quite the way the exercise expected us to solve the problem. So what it expected us to do is actually use a swap method or way for us to swap the two numbers, and it actually expected us to even convert them from strings, which is what the console read line will give you, into an actual integer value, which is what the system knows as numbers, right? So if we look at the solution here, we scroll down, you'll notice they're using something called int parse, and that's what we are going to play around with now, just to try and convert the actual numbers from strings into integers. Because console readline, as you'll see in the program here, if I mouse over console readline, it actually says that it returns a string right here, right? We want a number. So what we need to do is we need to convert the number from convert from a string, which is a text, into an actual integer. Why does that make value? I'll show you that this lesson, and next lesson we'll try and play around with actually doing it. So first of all, let's figure out why we can't just add the first and the second input. Let's just do it with a simple calculation, right? So if I do a console write line here, like this, and I say, well, I want to add the two numbers together. So I'll add first input plus second input. That would actually end up being some kind of number, maybe, let's just put in a string in front of it just to show you guys. Added the two numbers equals plus. So what I expect now is that if I put in 1 and 2, it'll give 3, right? 1 plus 2 is 3. So let's try and see what actually happens. And some of you already guessed what's going to happen, but still, cliffhanger. There it goes. I put in the first number 1, I put in the second number 2, it ends up being 12. What? That's not 12, that's 3. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that the system doesn't understand that this is numbers. It expects that what you're giving it is actually text. So it says, if I take this text and I add it to this text, it'll be this text. Okay, so it doesn't know its numbers yet. So what we need to do is we need to parse the string. We need to convert the string from text into actually being a number, an integer, a double, whatever text that we're sending in, we need to convert it into an actual number. So that's what we're going to do in the next couple of lessons, but now you guys know that when you start working with numbers or anything else than strings, beware when you do the console read line. You might not be holding an actual number, you might be holding an actual string. So if you want to try and maybe add those, divide those, copy those, whatever you want to do, beware that it's actually strings that we need to now convert into numbers before we start working with them when we're talking in a more mathematical sense. See you in the next lesson.